Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Whip Like Butter. It's your girl Ashley, and if you can tell from my accent, baby, I'm from Texas. Yeah, but I put a little bit of that little Louisiana swing because my daddy from Louisiana. But okay, so today we have a sweet potato pound cake. Of course, the Mile High version, y'all. But with that, what we gonna call it? A bourbon caramel glaze. I want to call it praline glaze, but it ain't quite a praline. We're gonna call this like a bourbon caramel glaze, y'all. Look at that. That's everything. I made a sweet potato pound cake before, just a regular version. Did that one with the cream cheese glaze, but y'all, I've been seeing these pound cakes with this caramel glaze concoction. I was like, I gotta try that for myself, and we did that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So I'll show you how to make this pound cake. Let's go. So we're going to start off by scrubbing our sweet potatoes down really good, patting them dry. We're going to wrap them in foil, place them in the pan, and bake them in the oven at 325 for about 2 hours. You can just poke them with the fork to determine if they're tender or not. You can poke holes in them before you wrap them. That's your choice. This is a good time also to take your ingredients out and let them come to room temperature. So when you take the potatoes out of the oven, go ahead and open the foil so some heat can release so it's not as hot once you get ready to go ahead and take the filling out. So you can take it out as early or as late as you want to. Don't let your potatoes completely cool down. It's going to be hard to scoop the filling out of. And I just get a fork and I scoop them into my measuring cup. I try to avoid like the edges where there's a lot more strings, but you can just take the large strings out as you go. So pack these in here. We're going to use a cup and a half of sweet potato, and I used the majority of these 2 potatoes, but I didn't use all of it. And same thing with this side as the other side. I try to use 2 sweet potatoes to avoid using having to use so much stringiness. Now you can boil your potatoes or however you decide to cook them. This is just my preference. I like to put my feet up while my potatoes are cooking. I mean, because why not? So I'm just going in here with a fork and mashing them. You can run them through a food processor. They don't need to be just that fine. They dissolve a little bit in your batter anyway. Remove any excess strings and set that to the side and let it continue to cool while you prepare your batter. Your potatoes need to be cool before you add them to your batter, not hot. So we're going to start off by blending our butter together. So I like to use the paddle attachment for batters and only the whisk attachment for glazes and frostings. Okay, it just mixes together better. And I heard that the whisk attachment can also incorporate too much air into your batter. We want air into our batter for pound cakes to help with the rise, but not too much. So we slowly added our granulated sugar, and then we're coming behind that, and we're slowly adding in our light brown sugar. You can use dark brown sugar as well. Your batter's just going to be darker. And I think to me, dark brown has a more deeper flavor. I don't know what y'all think, but I like the light brown sugar to marry with the flavors for this recipe. So we're adding our extracts into the batter. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and mix that up just real quick because that's all it needs to be mixed a little bit more. And then we're going to add our eggs one at a time. Of course, our eggs need to be room temperature along with our butter. All right. And once you start seeing yellow streaks and that ooey gooeyness, that's when you add your next egg. So we got everything all mixed together like so. We're going to scrape down the sides of our bowl right here. All right, a rubber spatula is a really good tool to have in baking. Now we're going to go ahead and put our sweet potatoes into the batter. For whatever reason, I added the sweet potatoes in 2 parts. You don't have to, but that's what I did. And I only mixed like right until combined, so I wasn't over mixing the sweet potatoes into the batter. You can see there's still like a little lumpiness when I added the first little bit of sweet potato. All right, so you mix your sweet potato only into combine, right? And then we're going to go ahead and add our flour to the batter. Now we're adding some nutmeg and our cinnamon to the batter. The salt and the baking powder was already added into the batter. I'm sorry, the flour. So just give that a good fluff. And there we are, adding our flour mixture. All right, and we're going to alternate that with the buttermilk. I like the buttermilk with the sweet potato because the sweet potato is thick, and so once you add the flour, the batter gets even thicker. And I like how the buttermilk like gives the batter a little tenderness along with the sweet potato. It's like so good, and I think I really like baking pound cakes with buttermilk. They just really do something different for the pound cake. So all y'all people who don't like dense pound cakes, buttermilk will help you out along with cake flour. I use all-purpose flour for this recipe. That's just my thing. But you can also use cake flour. All right, so we're giving that a last mix with our spatula right here. I had a brain moment. I'm like, what is this? All right, so we're mixing it up with our spatula, getting the sides and everything. We're spraying what the hell out that pan. All right, and then coming through with our pastry brush. This pan, like, the way the spray sets up in it and stuff, I don't like how it looks. So I just always come in with the pastry brush. But if you look back at my other videos, I don't use the pastry brush for each time that I spray my pan. Okay, our oven is already preheated at 325 degrees. So we're going to go ahead and lay our batter in here. And the oven thermometer is a good tool. You can find that in my store along with this pan. If you don't have an oven thermometer, always preheat your oven early because y'all, my oven, like I told y'all before, it's never actually at the temperature when it says it's preheated. It's usually like 15 degrees lower than that. So I added my batter in 2 parts. And then of course we smoothed the top the first time, and then we're going to smooth the top one more time. All right, we all set. And lastly, we're just going to tap the pan on the counter. And we're ready to pop it in the oven. And once we take it out of the oven, I let mine cool for 20 minutes. Some people let it cool for less, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. 20 minutes works for me, so that's what we're going to stick with. All right, look at that, y'all. Nice and brown. Okay. We're gonna flip that thing back over. I've been doing that lately. It just depends on like how I want my glaze to look and stuff. Is if I flip it onto the other side. But I've been playing around with like, using both sides. All right, so we're gonna make that light little glaze. We're gonna start off with some melt. We're gonna melt our butter. You can use melted butter, but we're gonna melt our butter since we already have this pot. We're adding some brown sugar. We're gonna get that all nice and stir, 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 so you can get that all nice and combined. All right, then we're adding some condensed milk in here. Now, condensed milk is so delicious for glazes. Not even this kind of glaze, just like a regular glaze. It's just something different. It gives like a lift to your glaze. Okay, so of course, stir, 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 stir with this as well until it's nice and blended. And we want to let this bubble up a little bit, but we don't want to let it like bubble up too much. We're not like getting all the way to that caramel consistency, okay? We want it to be a little bit looser. So I'm adding salt, I'm adding nutmeg, I'm adding cinnamon. I was modest with my nutmeg and my cinnamon in the batter and in the glaze as well. I don't like heavy spice. If you like heavy spice taste, you may want to add some more. I just really wanted to infuse the batter and the glaze with the different pop of flavor, okay? So we're adding our vanilla. You see we got this little reaction going right here. But y'all, look what happens when we add this bourbon. Y'all, that thing go crazy. So just stir that in there as well. All right, and once you add that, you really want to be getting to the point where your consistency is there. And keep in mind, like have it like a touch looser than you like the glaze, because when we add our pecans, it's gonna thicken some. And once you let it set, once you take it off the heat, it's gonna thicken some. So we took it off the heat. We're not wasting any time. We're gonna go ahead and lay it over the cake because we don't want it to start setting in the pot. All right, so lay it over however you want. I want like a little peekaboo so you can still see the cake some, you know what I mean? Instead of just completely saturating it with the glaze. And can y'all see like, it's like praline-ish, but it's not praline-ish, especially since we add condensed milk. Like when you make pralines, you make them with evaporated milk. I didn't want it to be like hard like pralines. This is like a soft glaze even when it sets, okay? before you get that nice little slice, and ooh wee, there we go. And you know we getting ready to get into the taste test. All right, it's time for the best part. Ooh, I'm gonna start from the top. You know, I flipped this one because I was like, oh, it's just gonna look pretty flip like that. So we have a little crunch on top. Let me take it all in. Okay. I'm catching all the flavors. I love the moisture from the sweet potatoes. I'm trying to think about if I like this one better than my last one or what. I think I might put some nutmeg in this one. I love that glaze on top. I think what I might do is wait 2 days, because you know pound cake tastes better after 2 days. All the seasonings and all the goodness get soaked up in there and really see. Wait. Ooh, baby. That was good. I need to put some, I had this on standby because I was like, I think I might. I want a little extra. Get that all socked up. You know what? It really puts me in the mind of like candy yams. You know what I mean? But not like too sweet candy yams, which is good. Because I don't want this cake to be overly sweet. Especially with all the sugar in there. But sweet potato pie at the same time, baby. For real, for real. That did it. You know, I'm always gonna keep it real with y'all and give y'all a real review of what I think about the cake. Even if I made the cake, that doesn't mean like that cake is for me. Just like with chocolate, I'm not crazy about chocolate, but I made you all 3 chocolate cakes, and I love most of them. Dark ones are the ones that I like the best. But I'm always gonna keep it real, just because it's my recipe and it's a good cake. It's like well, I like it now, but like dressing. I didn't used to like dressing. I know it's weird. I didn't used to like dressing, but I didn't think it wasn't good. It was just like not something that I like. Now I do like it. So I think you should have an objective review, you know, when you're tasting something. Just because it's not for you doesn't mean it's not good. But this here, I like this better with this, I definitely like it better with this glaze versus with the cream cheese. I think it gives like a different boost. Like I said, it puts me in the mind of sweet potato pie and candy yams, and I love it. All right, could have even threw some pecans in the batter. Yeah, I'm making it long, but I really want to get into this, especially since it's been a long time coming with me deciding to remake this cake. So go ahead and get the recipe for yourself and let me know what you think. Recipe is always in the description box, and it's always pinned in the comments. Thank y'all for your support, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye.